This World Series Game 3 betting picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers where you can win 100x. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus of up to $500. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for player props, parlays, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Plus, the MMA Gambling Podcast just launched their YouTube channel. To celebrate, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie for all the details. Welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, October the 30th, currently 10:43 on the East Coast. Here to get into the Game 3 of the World Series. And joining me today is apparently nobody because everybody is busy on this Monday morning. So I am going to do my best here to get you guys through or give my betting picks, at least for Game 3 of the World Series. I am your host, Munaf Manji. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsNerd824. And hopefully maybe the YouTube chat can get me going by myself here today. Already a couple of guys in the YouTube chat. They're casing, solo pod, man. It's me on my own today. I just want to get something out to you guys for the Game 3 of the World Series. And yes, Mal is still drunk. Captain Insano. Appreciate you guys joining us. Both Mal and I had a wedding to attend this weekend, respectively. I know Mal mentioned that he is traveling back home from the wedding this weekend, and also it is he has a birthday to celebrate for his son today at least as well. So shout out to Bob. Happy birthday, Bob. So appreciate you guys joining me in the chat here on YouTube. I'll quickly recap games 1 and 2 of the World Series, and I'll give my Game 3 betting picks here. Probably we'll keep it short here at around maybe 15 to 20 minutes and see how it goes here. But so we have 2 games in the books for the World Series. The series right now is split 1 game apiece. Game 1, Texas comes from behind and gets the victory against the Texas Rangers in extra innings 6-5, thanks to a late rally in the bottom of the 9th by the Texas Rangers. That was a game where we saw Corey Seager hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th to tie it up and then eventually send it into extra innings, where Adolis Garcia, your ALCS MVP, hit a solo home run to give the Rangers the Game 1 victory in that game. And then give credit to the Arizona Diamondbacks for the way they fought back in Game 2, or responded, I should say, at least in Game 2, by getting a 9-1 victory in Arlington to even up the series. A beautiful performance, a pitching performance by Merrill Kelly, who has been absolutely solid this season, or this postseason, I should say, for the Arizona Diamondbacks. 7 innings, he allowed only 3 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. The only run that he did give up was a solo home run, which I believe was to Mitch Garver in the bottom of the 5th. But other than that, absolute brilliant pitching baseball by Merrill Kelly. And then the bullpen came in and took care of business for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So they head back to Arizona here tonight for Game 3 with their series tied up 1-1. And I think we could also make the argument, guys, that Arizona could easily be up 2-0 in the series if the bullpen didn't, blow it up like I mentioned in Game 1 of the World Series to Corey Seager. So this might be a different narrative right now, but nonetheless, we head back to Arizona tied up 1-1. And again, we've mentioned this a lot of times on the pod that this Arizona team they don't give up, man. And I mentioned this when we did the NLCS preview, is that if Arizona, and also when we talk about the divisional series, is that if they score early and often, they usually do their best to maintain their leads. And that's kind of been their recipe of success as well, at least on the offensive side. And their pitching has been absolutely brilliant as well. I mentioned Merrill Kelly, the starter tonight, Brendan Pfaadt, has been really good as well. I'll talk about him when we do get to the World Series Game 3 picks here tonight. And also Merrill Kelly as well. I mean, I think you could possibly make an argument there that if Kelter Marte wasn't ripping the cover off of the baseball right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks, that he could be in consideration to be the postseason MVP, at least for the Arizona Diamondbacks. But it's been a great World Series thus far. Like I mentioned, Game 3 goes off here tonight in Arizona, in Phoenix. I'll get to the betting picks for that game here in a minute here as well. But it's been a fun series to watch thus far this season, this postseason, and in the World Series. So I'll talk about Game 3 after I tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite games and your favorite teams. Underdog has just introduced Scorchers. Go 5 for 5 and pick 'em Scorchers and enjoy a spicy 100x payout. And for a limited time, Underdog is extending their first deposit bonus of up to $500. $100,000 Sundays continues on Underdog Fantasy. 10 lucky players will win $10,000 each. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy using promo code SGPN. And the MMA Gambling Podcast just launched their YouTube channel. In honor, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie to one lucky winner. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie to submit your entry today. And make sure to subscribe to the MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. All right, guys. Game 3, like I mentioned, goes off tonight in Arizona. It's going to be Max Scherzer getting the ball here for the Texas Rangers, and Brandon Pfaadt is going to get the start here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And currently, the line sitting over on DraftKings is minus 110 each way for both of these pitchers and teams. Total is sitting at 9. Run line minus 1.5 plus 140 for the Texas Rangers, and plus 1.5 minus 166 on the run line for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll start here with Max Scherzer, who has not been very good this postseason, to say the least. He has an 0-1 record with a 9.45 ERA, only 6 strikeouts and 3 walks. Both of his starts this postseason did come against the Houston Astros in the ALCS, where in that first game, he made that return after missing right around a month with a shoulder issue and got blasted in 4 innings. He allowed 5 hits, 5 earned runs to the Houston Astros. And then I believe I think he pitched in the Game 7. Yeah, it was Game 7 for the Texas Rangers. Only lasted 2 2/3 innings in that game, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts in that game. Now, fortunately for Max Scherzer in that Game 7, the Astros, or the bats, I should say, for the Texas Rangers, were able to take advantage of Christian Javier and put that game away for the Texas Rangers. But again, Max Scherzer this postseason has just not been very good against, or I should say, against the Astros. On the other side, Brandon Pfaadt, who has been really good this season in the postseason. The regular season wasn't very good for Brandon Pfaadt. I know it's his rookie year. Maybe he was just trying to find his legs. And I guess, being used to pitching in the major leagues, because if you take a look at his splits during the regular season for Brandon Pfaadt, they weren't very good. He was 2-4 at home with a 6.46 ERA. And then on the road, he was 1-4 with a 5.04 ERA. But in the postseason, he started, he started 4 games already in the postseason for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he has a 2.70 ERA, 22 strikeouts, and 3 walks thus far in the postseason for the Arizona Diamondbacks. His last start was against the Phillies, where he did go 4 innings in Philadelphia, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And again, also at another start against the Phillies in Game 3, where he went in that game 5 2/3, allowed 2 hits, shutout baseball, 9 strikeouts as well. And he was absolutely phenomenal against the LA Dodgers as well in that National League Divisional Series, where he went 4 1/3, only allowed 2 hits in that game, no earned runs, only was able to get 2 strikeouts. But I mean, if you look at this game, guys, I think that right now the pitching edge is definitely with Brandon Pfaadt. I cannot put my money on a guy like Max Scherzer, especially the way that he has pitched in the first 2 games in this postseason, which was against the Astros. And I think that and I'll talk about player props in a minute, what I do like in this game here, but I'm gonna go with the Diamondbacks in this game. I trust Brandon Pfaadt more. I like the form that he is in this postseason. Like I mentioned, he's made 4 starts, a 2.70 ERA. The one bad start he did have was in the wild card round against the Brewers, where 2 2/3 he did allow 7 hits and 3 earned runs in that game. But since then, in the last 3 starts, like I mentioned, he's gone, let's see here, 14 innings. He's allowed 8 hits and only 2 earned runs while striking out 18 guys in the lineup. So I think for me, Brandon Pfaadt and the Diamondbacks is the look here for me. I think a lot of guys in the chat are also mentioning they can't put money right now on Max Scherzer, and Kaysen is mentioning here as well. Scherzer back on the mound seems like taking money from Grant, but he doesn't have it right now. 100% agree with that, Kaysen. So you're going to find me on Brandon Pfaadt here tonight. Also mentioning Kaysen, yeah, I was looking for this as well. Appreciate you finding this for me, man. Arizona on the run line tonight, -1.5, +175 on Caesar. So I think that's worth a look here as well. So at least for a side for me, it's Arizona Diamondbacks in this game. And again, we've seen the first 2 games of the series getting over the total have gone over the 9 mark. I think 8.5 and 9 have been the totals, if I'm not mistaken, thus far in this first 2 games of the World Series. Currently, it is sitting at 9 in Game 3. I think from a total perspective, I would look at the Diamondbacks team total to go over, because right now we look at the first 2 games, they put up 5 runs against the Rangers in Game 1, and then Game 2 they got 9. I know a lot of those came against the bullpen in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I believe they scored, I want to say it was 7 runs from the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks. But like I've mentioned, they've scored runs early and often, except for Game 2 of the World Series. They did get 2 in the 4th inning, but I've mentioned this a lot of times when we've been talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks, is that they score runs early. So if you want to take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 team total to go over Max Scherzer against Max Scherzer, because Scherzer, like I mentioned, he gave up 5 earned runs to the Houston Astros in his first start in that I believe it was Game 3, and then he also gave up 2 earned runs in 4 innings as well in Game 7. So I really like the look of the Arizona Diamondbacks over 2.5 team total runs in the first 5 innings. And then also I would look at their full game here as well for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, this team doesn't have the big, sexy names. I mean, for a casual fan of baseball, you're looking at this lineup, you probably don't recognize a lot of the name. But for hardcore baseball fans, like guys like Kelso Marte, Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker, Evan Longoria has had some flashes as well. So it's really been a collective effort for this Arizona Diamondbacks team thus far this postseason, also in the World Series. Before I get over to some player props that I like for the Game 3 of the World Series, let me tell everyone about Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger by betting smarter with Hall of Fame bets this season. The sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with Circle stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, couple player props I'll talk about that I do like for this game. I want to get there with Brandon Pfaadt's strikeouts, but I think the one thing that is holding me back is that the Rangers weren't a team that struck out a lot, especially during the regular season. But it's hard to ignore that Brandon Pfaadt has struck out 16 total batters over his last 2 starts, which was against the Philadelphia Phillies. This number at 4.5 for Brandon Pfaadt, I don't hate it. I would lean towards the over for him because he has the stuff where, I mean, the off-speed pitch, the pitches for Brandon Pfaadt has really generated a lot of swing and misses, especially in that series against the Philadelphia Phillies, like I mentioned. So I would lean towards the over 4.5 for Brandon Pfaadt. I think my favorite player prop as far as the pitchers is probably the under 14 and a half for Max Scherzer. I just don't think that Max Scherzer has it right now. I think possibly he may have come back sooner than he wanted to, maybe from that shoulder injury. I know he did go 4 innings in the last start in Game 7 against the Houston Astros, but I have find it really hard to believe that Max Scherzer does make it to 5 innings in this game. So I see currently under 14 and a half outs recorded for Max Scherzer. I really do like that. And it kind of correlates to what I mentioned, that if the Diamondbacks, who have throughout this postseason been able to put up early runs in those first 5 innings, that you probably are going to see Bruce Bochy pull Max Scherzer before him getting to 5 innings. So I won't be surprised if he does go about 4 innings here. And he gives up another 2-3 runs. And after that, he brings in the bullpen again. But my favorite player prop right now, at least for a pitcher side, is an under 14 and a half for Max Scherzer in this Game 3. If you really want to get spicy, Brendan Pfaadt to record a win is plus 380 in this game. I think he can definitely go along pretty well in this game. And I think he can carry the momentum that he's generated over the last 2 games that he has pitched in the postseason into this game. So those are a couple of player props that I do like. If you want to talk about some batter props, maybe some home run props in this game. Adolis Garcia's plus 255 to hit a home run. I know he's been ripping the cover off of the baseball for the Texas Rangers. Corey Seager plus 310 to hit a home run as well. Corbin Carroll is interesting at plus 550 to hit a home run, but I would rather look at his hits, runs, and RBIs for Corbin Carroll. That's at 1.5 at minus 130. So I do like the over there as well for Corbin Carroll. So those are some of my favorite player props. So just to recap, Brendan Pfaadt over 4.5 strikeouts, Max Scherzer under 14.5 outs recorded, and then Corbin Carroll hits, runs, and RBIs is at minus 130. And then we've seen a lot of stolen bases as well. I think Corbin Carroll's a guy at plus 240. I was looking for Alec Thomas. No, it's not Alec Thomas. I believe it was Corey Seager's stolen base prop. I don't see that number right now for Corey Seager. Evan Carter's also intriguing to me as stolen bases at 4-1. But yeah, not really a stolen bases prop better. But I think if you're looking at that market, I know we've seen some stolen bases, and both of these managers aren't afraid to give the green light as far as stealing bases thus far in this World Series. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I don't know if anybody has anything else in the chat they want me to mention here, but I know a quick 20 minutes here on the MLB pod here. I want to get something out to you guys. So as far as best bets, I would look at the Diamondbacks team total over 4.5. And then also Max Scherzer under 14.5 outs recorded. I don't see that he will get to 5 innings here. And again, like I mentioned, if the Arizona Diamondbacks are able to get to Scherzer early, I think he gets pulled fairly quickly again as well in this game for the World Series of Game 3 here. So hoping Diamondbacks. I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks. Obviously, I know I'm a Astros fan. I don't want to see the Rangers win, but I know our guy Mal is holding that 66-1 ticket on the Arizona Diamondbacks to win it all. So hopefully I am definitely rooting for that for sure. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the MLB Gambling Podcast. Hopefully tomorrow, I know Mal will be back tomorrow for the MLB pod. I think I'll join him, or myself or Scott will join him tomorrow for the MLB pod. They'll recap Game 3, look ahead to Game 4 as well, give their betting picks as well. Hopefully another exciting game here tonight. Hopefully we do put some more money in our pockets for this World Series. Tied up 1-1. Should be a fun series, but we are headed to Arizona for the next 3 games in Phoenix, and hopefully the Diamondbacks can win a couple here, and we do maybe see the series get to Game 6 or Game 7. Appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Shout out to Kaysen. Appreciate you, man, getting me through this pod. Captain Insano as well. Riley joined as well. So like I mentioned, y'all be back tomorrow. Till then, good luck with your picks. Let's break these books off and let it ride.